What's going on, and welcome back to another exclusive mini scheme for the Patreon family. So for today I'm going to be going over the gun bunch tight end scheme. I did do a pistol bunch tight end ebook a little bit ago, but the gun bunch tight end is significantly different than the pistol version. So we're going to go over this today. This is in the Seahawks playbook, the run heavy playbook, and the Dolphins playbook. Some of the plays differ. One of the main things with the run-heavy playbook is it doesn't have the inside zone, which kind of is a bummer, but I mean, it has all the good passing plays, but it doesn't have inside zone, which I think is a nice touch to the formation. It's not necessary. You can run the draw play or the delay, and that'll be decent, but the inside zone definitely gives you just a little bit something extra. So first play that I want to break down is, to me, the best play out of this, which is the inside switch. Now, why this play is so good is because this little post route that Richardson's on, we can use it in so many glitchy ways. So the first setup I have for this play is, what I do is I take the tight end, I put him on a fade, I streak Y, and then I put B on a drag. And then what we're going to do is actually motion Richardson over. So let me just get the defense set up. So we have Casey Hayward over here, who is a 91 zone defender. So I'm going to show you how you can glitch out, whether he's in a deep zone, cloud, flat, doesn't matter. You can glitch him out every time with this. You just want to break point pass it. You want to pass lead it to the sideline, bullet pass, right as he's cutting. And I actually threw that too late there. So that was, I mean, he still caught it, but that's not exactly how it's supposed to look. I just threw that a little bit too late. I didn't actually break point pass it like I was supposed to. But you want to motion him out till he's like about at the numbers. And watch. Now you see that's how it's supposed to look. You see how Casey Hayward just got completely left and just completely faked out. And this is actually a little bit easier to pull off too when you're on the wide hash mark. But I mean, look how inside Casey Hayward went. That 91 zone's over pursuing to the inside and just absolutely destroys it. So show cover 3 now. It's gonna be the same thing. Just motion him over. Wait till he gets to about the numbers. Break point pass it again. He's completely out of there. He's completely just he's out of commission. Cover 2. It's gonna work just as good. I really like it most versus people that love to spam cover 2, because usually we can turn it down the sideline for a little bit extra. So again, break point pass it, and like I said, you can. I mean, he kind of did that little spin animation, which was dumb. If he would have just caught it in stride there, we would have been able to go down the sideline for some more yards. But again, break point pass it, just bullet pass it to the sideline. You're throwing it right here as he cuts, and again, you see, look how lost Casey Hayward gets. Easy money all day. So that's why I love this route. Against man, pretty much the same thing. Now, note against man, you definitely want a good route runner here, so I probably should have Baldwin here. But if you're going against a cornerback that has great man coverage, you're going to need that 91 plus zone. The route running will always trump the man coverage, but you definitely need, you definitely want the good route running. But again, you want to pass it when they break. I wish he wouldn't do that spin catch. If he was just catching it in stride, that probably would have been a touchdown. But it doesn't matter what coverage they put on you, you can pretty much just destroy him. So now if they're playing any type of cloud flat coverage, you're going to also be able, have the ability to hit the drag and to hit the little flat route to the running back there. So it's just about reading the defense. You can see if they're going to give you the flat, you take the flat, go get your 4 to 5 yards, just a simple dump down pass. So here we'll actually do a cover 3. Cloud flat here. You'll see you'll have the flat open, but you'll have the drag open too, and the flat also will help pull zones away from the drag too. So like you see, you have the pocket for the drag right there, picked up about 7.5, 8 yards on the drag. Just go to the replay really quickly to show you that the flat route was also wide open. So you can see flat route's wide open. We could have picked up at least 4.5, 5 yards, which is pretty much what you expect from a flat route. So that's one way to set this play up. Another way we can set this up is kind of do try to recreate a mesh post type look out of what you would see out of gun bunch. So you want to max protect, and then you can streak Y, put B on a drag, and then you're going to actually motion B over, and then you kind of just read, is the drag there? If not, you go for the post. Just kind of a little mix-in setup, not something I really spam too much. But, you know, just a little mix-in setup. You can low pass the post to keep it away from 91 zones. If they try to hit you with a cover 2 with the middle linebacker in the deep blue, which is mostly what you'll see, especially from good players, the streak from Lockett will pull that deep zone, which I'll show you, which is going to just leave the post wide open. You can see post is wide open. And we'll go to the replay and just show you. Even though I think the streak kind of got bumped there, so it was a little bit delayed getting up the field. But you'll notice that you see how he turned and ran with the streak. Even though these other two guys completely have the streak covered, the middle linebacker is always going to favor the streak. And then it gives you the post open over the middle. Go back to a cover 2 here, just to show you too. Like if they're not playing any type of underneath coverage, you'll also always have the drag as a dump down. If they do play underneath coverage, you can always playmaker the drag up. This is better in Ultimate Team if you have a playmaker ability wide receiver. But again, here you see, just wait for it to get to the outside, turn up field, and you can get big gains with it. Now, I'm going to just do like an underneath cover 4 here just to show you, you know, how you would playmaker this. Again, this is going to be better in mud if you have a wide receiver with the playmaker ability because it allows him to cut a little bit more sharp. I mean, you can still do it in regs, as I'll show you right here. Just kind of playmaker him up the field, pass it, possession, catch it. You know, that's a little bit more of an advanced thing you can do there. But, you know, the streak drag post combo this year is just really good, really easy to pull off and just kind of destroy people with. So that's the first play. Those are the two setups that I like to use out of it. And next will be, you know, jumping into some more plays. Okay, so the next play we're going to look at is the PA boot over. This play, in my opinion, was one of the best plays in the game last year, for sure. It's still a good play this year, definitely not as good as it was last year, but to set this up, what I like to do is I'm going to put A on an in route. I want to re-drag the B receiver because the drag that he's on initially goes a little bit deeper. This is kind of similar to the pistol version of the play that I broke down in the pistol ebook, where the drag is going to pull down cloud flats and stuff like that, which will open up Lockett on his deep cross. And then as far as the X receiver goes, he's kind of, you can kind of do whatever with him. You can smart route his post if you want, but it's really the angle that the post runs, it's really only going to be good against, like, say, a cover 2 with no deep blue. Another thing you can do is put him on a hitch, and you can have that as like a playmaker option. If nothing else is open, you can playmaker the hitch. That's up to you. If you were in mud, I would definitely put a playmaker receiver in that spot if that's what you chose to do. But the main thing we kind of work on with this is, you know, the crossing routes and the deep cross and the shallow crossing routes, basically. Usually I leave him on a post because I kind of like that it stretches the defense deep, kind of opens up the in route a little bit if I choose to go there. And this also is the play action that plays off of the inside zone, which is good because when we're going to be running the inside zone when we use this, we also want to be able to have the play action so that we keep our opponents guessing. They're not sure if we're running or passing. So the main thing I love to use this against is a cover 2, without a doubt, because even though we have Casey Hayward over here, again, he's got that zone threshold, but what's going to happen here is you're going to see he's going to get completely sucked down, and then this crossing route just gets wide open. It's just money all day long. Now, again, cover 2, if they do not, if they don't put a deep zone over the middle of the field, you should be able to hit this post over the top like so. Russell Wilson just kind of sailed the ball there, but as you can see, he split the safeties pretty perfectly. Against cover 3, same thing here. We're looking to hit that crossing route or the underneath routes, whatever's open for us. You see again, well, see there, we're supposed to low pass it because he's got 91 zones, so that's my fault. You're gonna want to low pass that pretty much every time. Against cover 2, it's not necessary, but it can't hurt to low pass it, but it's definitely something you want to get in the habit of doing. As you can see here, you see the difference. Last time he picked it right there, he had no shot because we low passed it. So I'll show that one more time just to show the consistency of it, just so you guys don't think it's a fluke or something like that. But definitely get in the habit of throwing a low pass to this route. As you can see, again, low pass, and Hayward has no shot to get to it. Now, I don't really love this versus cover 4. I find that the cover 4 91 zone does a better job at defending it. If you low pass it, you should still catch it a good bit of the time, majority of the time even. But it's just a little bit riskier. See, like right there, we caught it, but it's, again, a cover 4, it's a little bit riskier, but the thing with the low pass this year is it's so glitchy that even though Hayward was in good position there, we'll go actually to the replay, you'll see he kind of just dumbs out against the low pass. But it's just something, I like to practice, good reads, and to me this isn't really a good read. You see that right here, Casey Hayward kind of like turned his back a little bit extra, like he didn't need to do that, and then he just stood there while we caught it. But in my opinion, that's still not a good read. It's not something I'm personally comfortable throwing, but if you low pass it, you're still going to catch that a majority of the time. They probably will rarely pick it off because the AI just doesn't react to low passes this year, unfortunately. So other stuff, again, we have on the play is we have the crossing routes that you can use to your advantage. Mainly going to be the in route, because the thing with the drag route's always going to pull down the cloud flat. So even if they're running a cloud flat, that drag's pretty much going to always be covered. So here, this was a cover 2, and you could see obviously the cloud flat here. Hayward, he jumps down on this. So that's why the crossing pattern is pretty much going to be your main read on this play. You're either going to have the crossing pattern or the in route, which is what we threw here. That's really the 2 routes you're working off of. The deep post, pretty much just there if you're playing someone that pulls out a cover 2 and doesn't like, putting the middle linebacker in deep blue if you're playing someone a little bit more inexperienced. But the main 2 reads on this play are always going to be the in route and the deep cross. Now again, if you want to put this guy on like a playmaker hitch, that's something else you can do. But just note that when you do that, sometimes the tight end isn't going to really get as open because you don't have anything pulling him back. So like here, you see playmaker. I tried to playmaker him up the field there, but again, it's hard to do without the playmaker ability because they kind of playmaker weird. Honestly, if you want to put him on a playmaker, it's probably best to just block the tight end to just kind of get him out the way, because you don't need the tight end in order for the drag and the deep cross is all you need to create that little flood on the right where you're going to pull down all the other zones. You don't actually need him on an in route. So I would say if you want to go the playmaker route, then you want to just block the tight end anyway and just have a 3 route combination on the field, because it just kind of keeps him out of the way. And then, you could playmaker him over the middle, do something like that. So that's how I like to run the PA boot cross. Next, we'll be jumping into another play. Okay, so the next play I want to look at out of the bunch tight end is more of a specialty play. It's going to be curl flat corner. This is what I go to against people that if they're just running a ton of cover 2, just ridiculous amount of cover 2, this is a play I go to kind of just like destroy their cover 2. And I tend to like to run this with the bunch on the wide side of the field. So here I'll go move this to the left hash here, or the right hash, excuse me. So we have the bunch going to the wide side. And this is going to be similar to the one that you've probably seen out of gun bunch, where what we're going to do is we're going to, hold on, excuse me. All right, so we're going to block the running back. We'll put the tight end, on an in route just to have kind of a check down option over the middle. We'll streak B, and then we put X on an out route, and we're going to motion X out. And what that's going to do is suck down the cloud flat and give us a wide open throw to lock it. Whereas you just saw the last 2 plays we showed, we have tons of ways to destroy cover 2 out of this. So if you're ever playing people that just love cover 2, this is a really great formation. You saw in the first play, we could break point past any coverage, but especially it works the best against cover 2. With the PA play, we have the drag sucking down the cloud flat, opening up the deep cross for a huge gain. And now in this play, which is just kind of more of a specific just for cover 2 abusers, we're going to do the same thing, suck down the cloud flat in a different way out of a different play and have the deep corner open. So I'm going to go to a cover 2 here, and especially if they like to play the middle linebacker deep, that's perfect because we're not sending anything at that part of the field that we're looking to hit. So he's actually, if someone does this, they're opening up the middle for your in route, but also it's not affecting what's going on the outside here. So we motion Richardson a few steps, and you'll see, of course, the cloud flat sucks down on it, and we got hit with block shed there, of course, so we'll just run it again. It does take a little bit of time to develop, but we do have a running back in blocking, so in game it shouldn't be as bad, but block shed in practice mode is kind of crazy sometimes. So again, he goes to cut outside. If you're playing heavy 91 zone teams, you're just going to want to low pass it. That's really the only difference. We'll move it to the other side of the field to show that it'll still suck down a 91 zone guy, which we have, again, Casey Hayward over there. As you can see, Hayward is still over there, and we'll do the same thing. Same setup. motion out Baldwin here a few steps, and you see Casey Hayward gets sucked down. Same thing was wide open, but of course, again, practice mode block shed is just ridiculous. But we'll run it one more time. One more time, just because I like to be thorough and complete the pass. Just make sure we're in cover 2. Alright. Motion the guy out a few steps. Cutting to the outside. Easy cover 2 destroyer. So that's it for this play. We'll be on to the next play in a second. Okay, so for the next play, we're just gonna briefly cover the halfback slip screen. It's one of the more decent slip screens out of shotgun in the game. You have so much you have to worry about out of this formation. Obviously, you know, the break point passing. You've got the the cover 2 destroyers. You know, we have inside zone, which we haven't covered yet, and then you also have a screen you got to worry about. Now, my recommendation is if you're gonna run the screen, use one of the motions just to try to trick them and throw them off. So you could either do the motion of the play we just broke down, which would be like motioning this guy out a few steps. So their first initial thought is, oh man, they're going, and he dropped it right there. But that's just terrible. That's probably a touchdown right there. I mean, look how wide open this was. But when you do that little motion, their first thought is, oh, he's running the the Tampa 2 play that we just ran. Like if he catches this, that's a touchdown. But either way, that's their initial thoughts is, oh, well, I see that motion. I know when he does that motion, he likes to run the cover 2 beater. Same thing, we can do the motion to this side of the field, which is the first play we broke down. So they see this, and they're like, oh, he's running that play. But really, you're running a screen. And then when you motion him to that side of the field, you're actually creating another blocker for yourself, potentially. He might not always catch a block, but you have that potential for him to do that. Now, see, like right here, if I'm just going against random defense, I would run like an inside zone versus this right here in real game. But since we're breaking down this play, we're just going to keep running the screen. So again, you run this play, you spam that a lot. They're not sure what's coming. Is he running a screen? Is he running the that was just bad. That was like a terrible suction tackle. Still got about 4 yards, but man, that was a really bad suction tackle. That should have been a 10-yard gain. Either way, again, they're thinking, oh, he's running that play. I got to worry about him glitching my zones out. But in actuality, you're throwing a screen and you're getting upfield for huge yards. That's how you got to try to trick people. You don't want to just come out and run the screen. See here, motion them out this way. They're going to first thought is, oh, it's the other play. It's actually the screen. And then, you're off to huge gains down the field. This dude couldn't shake his defender for anything. His juke move's probably terrible. But you get the picture. Use the motion just to help, kind of keep your opponent off guard. Okay, so last but not least, we have the inside zone out of bunch tight end. This was not in bunch tight end any of the previous years. This is the first year that they put this run in the bunch tight end, which is really good because inside zone is probably the best overall shotgun run. Now, another thing you can do with this, if you want to kind of be sneaky, if you intend to come out and actually run the inside zone, something you can do is take your inside wide receiver on the bunch and actually sub in a tight end there. I wouldn't do this on every single play because obviously you're going to be passing out of this way more than running. But it's if you're really suspecting that you're going to come out and run this, go ahead and sneak a tight end in there just for better blocking. I'm actually going to take this Carson guy out because I don't feel like he's very good. I'm going to just go ahead and put Rawls in. But if you get on the field, you don't like the look, the box is completely stacked, and you want to audible, it's fine. I mean, the tight end's not going to destroy the play, especially in this spot, because pretty much all the plays we run for the most part, this tight end is not, this spot of the play isn't really that important. If you notice on the first 2 plays, he's always going to run a drag, so you don't have to be amazing to run a drag, and you don't really need to be that fast because most people play zone anyway. And then on the cover 2 play, he just runs a streak, and his only purpose is running off coverage anyway. So even if you have to go to a pass, it's not going to be crazy or detrimental to have him out there. And then on top of that, if you play in MUT, you probably have 2 good tight ends anyway, so it certainly wouldn't hurt you there. Again, on the inside zone, use the motion to fake people out. Do the little motion to this side. Try to fake people out. Go up the middle. Try to get your 4 to 5 yards. Don't hold turbo. Just try to get through the holes. Only hold turbo if you're in a situation where the hole opens up and then it makes sense to. But you don't want to mash turbo as soon as you get the ball because that's going to cause more block sheds to happen. See right there, that was a good front. Normally I wouldn't run on that. I'm just running against random defense. You can also do something like this. Motion this guy over and snap it right here to help with the blocking because right right at first, they're going to think you're running the other play. They're not going to know that you're automatically running this play, but you'll catch them off guard by snapping the ball early. And we're just getting, bad block sheds here because it's practice mode. But, again, just play with the motion just to throw them off. Make them second guess. Make them think, okay, maybe it is a pass play. And you're really just looking to try to get 4, maybe 5 yards out of this. You're not looking to, hit a home run. You're going to hit a home run every now and then. You're going to just break through the hole and it's going to open up for you. But, see, like, look at that block shed. Like, we stood no chance. And keep in mind, the Seahawks have probably the worst O-line in the game. So, showcasing a run with them is pretty hard because no one holds their blocks. But if you're in Mutt, you have a good O-line, they're going to hold up. If you're playing with a team that actually has a good O-line in the game or just a decent O-line, you're going to be able to run better. But the Seahawks are probably the worst team to run the ball with in the game. It's amazing that I'm even getting 3 to 4 yards on most of these plays because their line's so bad. But just to give you an example of how you run the inside zone, mix up the motions just to throw your opponent off. Same with the screen. Don't mash turbo. Just try to get up the middle, get a few solid yards. Keep them honest because then when you go to mix in the play action play, it's got the same look, so it fakes them out, so on and so forth. And that was just that was a super low ball there. I don't know what the hell Russell Wilson was doing there. He threw it right at the linebacker. But anyway, when you go to the play action, it has the same kind of motion. So it's all about faking your opponent out, keeping them off balance. They're never going to know if you're running, passing, or is he doing this pass play or the screen? Is he doing this pass play or the run? And that's how you catch people off guard. So nice little simple mini scheme, 5 plays, 6 setups. Nothing too crazy, but just something else for you guys to try out if you're looking to use something different. And as always, I will see you guys next time.